Morning, fellow zombies. How are we doing this morning? It's 2:30 in the morning, Sunday, the 18th of August, 2024. You're zombie out here. We were John C. of Roseman, California. Arrgh. Yeah, sleep deprived and mostly screwed up as usual. Okay. I'm trying to get my systems set up for the classwork already started already. Information's already been downloaded today, so now I gotta start downloading all the assignments I can get and get them ready. The rest of the stuff I've got, I'm still trying to back up to a flash drive so I can get this stuff going. I've been trying to keep track of a few items on YouTube that have been pissing me off. Besides the homeless situation, I've been posting left and right on this one, but there's also other things. There's also other things on this one. China homeless have been trying to get a hold of the DNC like crazy over in Chicago, Illinois. And Chicago PD has been, probably per orders of the DNC, to separate any protesters of any sort away from them. That means if there is going to be any issues that the DNC is still trying to say that they are emotionally attached to, or whatever kind of euphemism they're going to be using, they're bullshitting people. Coming from a fellow Democrat, I know they're bullshitting people. The homeless have been trying to capture the DNC's attention, and the convention starts tomorrow in Union Park, I think, which is far away from the DNC visually and everything. In fact, the protesters in this park are denied everything necessary for the protest, including porta potties. Porta potties. Now, you're talking about NIMBY situation here. Even the DNC is doing the NIMBY, but they're supposed to be for the people. And the Republican Party is going to be sweeping up on this one. Hell, even Mike Lindell, the pillow guy, who's been getting himself in trouble throughout these years, he's going to try to snatch up a few people if he can for the Republican Party to support Donald Trump. Meanwhile, if that wasn't bad enough on YouTube that I kept running into, more information concerning about Gaza Strip looking more like an absolute wasteland, and hearing schools getting destroyed, hearing people having mutilations or rapes coming from the Israeli army, and no independent journalists out there to confirm. Even Israeli press, the ones who are trying to be away from the administration, can't even verify what's happening in the Gaza because they're not allowed by the military. And every time there's been foreign press coming in, they've been killed. They've just been murdered, according to what we're hearing. Not just from Al Jazeera, but from other sources I'm coming across. We're getting from other sources. We're getting from other sources. It's supposed to be legitimate or not. Now, sometimes I'm wondering about it. But I'm also wondering whether or not I'm going to be supporting a Democratic Party who's in for genocide, who's going to be in for um, turning people into NIMBYs. Now, I didn't hear enough outrage coming from the White House on this one. I really didn't. I didn't hear the vice president or even the president having conniption fits over this one or losing sleep over this. Ever since several months ago, the decision came down concerning about Oregon and regarding how they're going to be treating the homeless. It's a ripple effect to every place, including out here in my state of California, which I would have to remind the vice president that she is from and the city that she had been trying to protect as a prosecutor. Well, let's just say that now they're prosecuting the helpless and the homeless. And if she's going to be continuing this damn crap, I'm not supporting this lady. I'll put it right up right now. I am not voting for Trump. I am not voting for her, and I sure as hell ain't voting for Robert Kennedy. No way in hell. Doesn't make me. I'm going to be a Nikki Haley fan either. I'll just put on Snoopy. But Legion votes off away from the Democratic Party would be putting in the Republican Party. It's like a rock in a hard place. I got to vote for. I haven't heard a platform coming out of her that's going to be helping out the homeless or trying to get laws enacted so we can protect the homeless. Unless it's like if you don't have property, you're nothing. If you got a roof over your head, well then maybe you're considered human and a voter. But it pisses me off that the Democratic National Convention or committee, whatever the hell they call them these days, turns a blind eye. They're there for the people, the working people. What about the home? What about the lower caste, with the cast-offs, shall we call them? Sure as hell can't call them the homeless. That's a NIMBY situation. I hope the FBI gets this one. Hi, FBI. I'm at United in Roseman in the apartments. Go find my ass. Knock on my door. We'll talk. Roseman, California, right next to Edwards Air Force Base. Guys want a map? Go to Google. Put in Roseman, right next to Edwards Air Force Base. West side of it, you'll see an apartment complex. Come on in. Talk to the manager first. Get the apartment number and the keys to come in. I'm here. I'll talk. We'll have a nice conversation concerning about what can be said and what can't be said concerning about the First Amendment rights here. And not to mention the rights of being a human being. I've been out there before. It's not fun. And these dumbasses keep forgetting. They lose property, power, prestige. They're one of the NIMBYs. They're one of the NIMBYs. So if this would get to the FBI, if this would get to the Secret Service, maybe it'll get over to Vice President Kamala Harris, and maybe to President Joe Biden. Where's your promise to the homeless? These people want to have a vote. But they're going to be voting for Donald Trump at this point over here if you don't get their vote. But worse than that, you got to find a way to override it with an executive order somehow to make sure that the NIMBYs are no longer NIMBY, that the homeless people will actually have an opportunity to live somewhere. We're treating them, our own American citizens, as if they don't exist because they don't have the money, property, or prestige. Or basically a roof over the damn head. An address, a physical address to live under. We're still having problems concerning about the damn mortgage situation, and not to mention the rental prices going skyrocketing. And yes, White House is going to be bitching and griping because Congress can't get off its goddamn dead ass. They're all fucking morons. I said it. I'm putting it on record. You guys didn't want to do shit about it. You're fighting off the Republican Party left and right, and the Republican Party didn't care. They don't. They're no longer Republican. They're Trumplicans. They're maggots. They want to make America great again. Give me a fucking break. And do we really need to wonder and really need to question whether or not if Donald Trump thinks he's more handsome than the vice president? So we're catering to a dementia patient here. Yeah, I'm not a doctor. I'm not credentialed, medical license, or anything else like that. He's already displaying this stuff anyway, but people are just blasé about it, including corporates. They don't give a shit. They don't want the money. Money, 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 money. Meanwhile, the people suffer. If you don't have the power, prestige, and money, you're worthless. the terrifying thought that came into my head. What if they start shipping the American citizens overseas or across the border, saying these are illegal aliens? I don't care if they show up a birth certificate saying that they are Americans. We always had Republicans trying to pass laws like that in Congress in this term. They wanted to pass laws like that to decertify somebody born in America, trying to tell them they're not born in America. It's bad enough we have the states out there, state elected officials out there, are screwing around with people's identifications, ability to vote, gerrymandering people left and right, telling them you can't vote by mail because it's not allowed. Oh yeah, restructuring. You have the freedom to vote because it's your mandatory requirement of being a United States citizen. The problem is you're not a United States citizen if the states won't recognize you as such. You may be on a roll that's telling other people that, whoop, you're one of the Walking Dead. You don't recognize. You're not recognized. You're not going to vote. Not even the provincial. One of those providential ones. So now we got to deal with that shit. No, we've been dealing with that for a long while. I'm just trying to play catch up with all this insanity going on. We're coming close to time of voting. And now we got to have the worthless stories coming out here trying to tear apart people's character. Character in this job is required for being an elected official. You have to have some kind of character going in. Coming out is a different story altogether if you're going to be surviving long enough in it politically. But this is what scares me and pisses me off more and more. We're focusing more about someone else's grandiose looks or his aged, decrepit face. He thinks he's more handsome than anybody else. Oh, God, give a break. It's like I want to wake up from this nightmare. But unfortunately, this is a reality check that we're dealing with right now. So how are we not supposed to be able to deal with this? Somebody want to tell me that one? I don't have the answers for it. I can tell you that things are happening in this world besides the politics. They're screwing over people left and right. That's the NIMBY situation. Entitlement situation. We're in the age of entitlement. I'm entitled, you're not. It's the age of elitism. I'm elite, you're not. Deal with it. My own damn attitude, my own damn ego, and my own arrogance is saying everything about me. I'm more special than anybody else. You don't like it? Who the hell are you? Who do you think you are? You're nobody next to me. And this is what we're dealing with. If we have a vice president running for president, not willing to go to the bat for the people who really got displaced worse, I'm not voting for her. I don't care if she's California or not. You're going against the homeless people. You ain't got my damn vote. And just don't say it. Actions speak louder than words. And so far, I hadn't seen any actions. Not from Congress, not from the executive branch. Well, we sure as hell heard from the judicial branch. They just said that homeless people don't exist, basically. Because the one town out in Oregon had a conniption fit. So now we got to make everybody else suffer through it. We got homeless encampments being made in different territories of different counties. But as soon as they're coming into city jurisdiction, city lines, within those lines, the homeless people are being pushed out. I would not be surprised if we actually get some of the homeless people getting shipped out and put on trains and sent out here to the Antelope Valley. And then we got to worry about that crap, don't we? Because now we got to deal with everybody else's quote unquote garbage. For years on the streets, they've been talking about how the city of Los Angeles and the county of Los Angeles didn't give a rat's ass about the homeless people, especially when they were coming up from the streets onto the trains and put out here. And there was some story, I'm still waiting for confirmation. It's been about 2 or 3 weeks so far since I heard from someone in one of the county supervisors of Los Angeles who's supposed to have been investigating. Probably got too much stuff on his desk anyway. Whether or not we actually heard the rumors true on this one or not, we saw somebody was reporting out there that they saw an LA County Sheriff's unit dropping off somebody over at Alversons, and they went over to stay at Starbucks all day. After that, we didn't. There was no tracking of that particular person. I don't know if they got picked up or not. I hope so, but if they haven't been, since when is LA County Sheriff's Department now becoming public transportation? They're supposed to be law enforcement. So why are they doing a dump and run? And I posed a question over to the county of Kern. I didn't get a response back from these assholes. Quiet. Crickets. We haven't got a supervisor in our territory anyway. District number 2. Scrivener jumped and left. He's out, boys and girls. We haven't got anything for Kern County. But Catherine Barger was supposed to be the one running Antelope Valley. And from the regional office of Lancaster, I heard, or Palmdale, one of those two, concerning about that sheriff's unit. So far, I haven't heard a word yet. I'm probably not going to anyway. It was just to satisfy a constituent. So I'm talking about it. I'm talking about it. Rosemead, California is next door to LA County. We are the farthest community on Kern County's radar. We're lucky enough we have any sheriff's department or California Highway Patrol being somewhat of law enforcement capabilities out here. We're also fortunate enough we've got a fire station within a private ambulance company to help with the emergency situations. Would I be grateful for that one? Once in a great while, we'll get a medical, um, one of them a medical examination bus is coming through. We'll do just do an urgent care visit on people. Of course, the people got to go to these places and get checked out. You got private insurance. Some insurances won't be covered by them. I know mine isn't going to be covered through them. Meanwhile, I don't know what the hell we're going to be doing these days, to tell you the truth. If we're going to have what we're going to have, fine. But if we're not, so, boys and girls, what are we going to be doing? You tell me, we'll both know.